Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and today we're going to look at the Alan Wake 2 review of fully Ramblomatic from Second Wind. I haven't seen anything from this channel before. It's a very new channel. In fact, it's so new, you can almost say they were escapist from something. But I'm sure that would be completely unrelated. But if it happened to make sense, someone, and maybe the name Yahtzee Croshaw made sense, I'm sure we'll find some kind of punctuation mark, but there's zero chance of that. More importantly, there's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. I'm going to be completely dark here. I have no idea what I'm expecting on this one. Second Wind. Oh, it's a Phoenix version, Second Wind. Bird, okay, that makes sense. Puppy, doggo, fully Ramblomatic. Oh, wow, the gear. Dude. I know this is stupid, but it's just layered over gear effects in a mostly white scale. Wow, white, I can't speak today. Red. But I like how the only thing you see is literally just a shadow of the gears on top of more shadows of the gears all turning. It's a very simple effect, but it is so freaking cool looking. I know, it's a weird thing to focus on.
Where half the AAA games are open world grind-a-thons, where you spend half your time...
Oh, wow. Really, Yahtzee? You just... Uncommon spectacles of the horse. Rare feather boa of extravagance. Legendary shin guards of bewildered crab. Eh? Also, wait, Gotham Knights is an open world? Assassin's Creed Rage? I've never even heard that one. And Destiny 2! That... Yeah. Grindfest is an accurate word, and a few other
things. Where you
things.
spend half your time in menus arranging color-coded equipment like you're trying to reassemble a disturbed Trivial Pursuit board, and half...
Wait, that's Trivial Pursuit? That uncomfortable moment where you realize you've never actually played a game of that and you didn't recognize when someone brought it up. Huh. Also, these look really fun. I've seen a few people play Potionomics.
The indie games are pixel art light work simulators where you manage a potion shop while romancing a shy anime girl with a nose ring and devil horns.
Yeah. Sounds actually very good to me. I like everything about that.
Any developer that can manage to give its games a truly idiosyncratic style is to be celebrated. And that's why I've always appreciated Remedy Entertainment, and especially their 2010 game Alan Wake, which set in...
I don't know anything about Alan Wake 2, but for some reason I'm thinking there's about to be a change here.
Stone everything we could come to expect from Remedy's output from then on.
Games they did control as well.
Theme pushed through a filter of weird contemporary mundanity, a not quite seamless combination of cutting-edge graphics and live-action video, and a focus on in-depth writing to make up for the story being completely up itself and the combat being kinda shit. Alan Wake 2 continues the pattern with aplomb. I mean, any work of fiction about a work of fiction with the power to reshape the fabric of...
Wait. I never played Alan Wake 1. I've heard amazing things about it, and I just never got on the board for some reason. The magic TV show that everyone watched and fixed all the world's problems. Is Oprah still on TV? Huh.
Reality is sort of inherently up itself, and that's before we get to the fact that Sam Lake, the director and writer of the game, casts himself in it as 3 different characters, which takes us so up ourselves we can start speedbagging our own uvula. Not...
I'm stealing that one. And I'm not going to say it anytime soon, but someone in the future who I hope doesn't watch these videos, if for any reason you do, yes, this is where I got it from, and I'm not going to say anything about it. I deserve this moment. I mean, I really don't, but I'm doing it anyways.
Not 3 different characters, Yards. They're arguably 3 different aspects of the same character. Well, that's just slid us another 6 or 7 inches up ourselves, hasn't it? Now our hands are sticking out of our mouth and gesturing to see the wine list. And the combat reaches all new original levels of being kinda shit. And once again feels like it was tokenly included to retain the title of video game in the traditional sense. The
this is not a fair comparison. There's a very big difference between Armored Core 6, yeah, VI is 6, and Destiny 2. Both have good combat. One of them is a complete game. The other one is a whole pile of shame and regrets and lost years of life that you just can't get back. And then you realize it was all a scam. It's a great game on top of every other problem. I'm sorry, I'm really stuck on that. So I did not realize I was still that invested in that, and it hurts. Therapy, man. I wasn't expecting that.
Equivalent of the 1 cafe latte the pretentious screenwriter buys every couple of hours so he can keep using his laptop in the Starbucks. But first, the plot summary.
Wait, you think they actually buy the latte? I thought they just went there and sat without buying anything. Apparently, he goes to the rich Starbucks where they actually do that. I'm not saying I've ever done that, but those complimentary waters are actually very nice, and I was very thirsty.
Horror writer Alan Wake jumped into a big lake full of mysterious occult wank to save his wife and is now trying to escape.
Oh, Crest, but Tom. I'm pretty sure that's Lovecraft. Because it's Lovecraftian monster, they just put Lovecraft's face on a slug. Okay.
From the mysterious occult wank by writing a story that the mysterious occult wank will turn into reality somehow. And there's an FBI agent in the real world who becomes aware of getting pulled into the reality Alan Wake is creating. And there's an evil version of Alan Wake who looks just like him but less soberly dressed. And everyone and all of reality might be real or fictional, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, and the first game in the DLC...
Wait, are we saying people in a fictional world are fictional? But how do we know the fictional ones from the fictional ones? I would have so much meta fun with this because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Lever Control are both canon and essential reading for understanding what the fuck's going on, but the semi...
Wait. You had to know... Oh, God, So it's all a connected universe. They're actually doing that. I honestly don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Sequel Alan Wake American Nightmare you should completely disregard.
What?
Any questions? No? Good, moving on. Gameplay is split between two parallel storylines, classic Resident Evil style, although you can switch back and forth between chapters, and I do recommend alternating because the story about Saga Anderson, the nice confused FBI agent and normal person, getting her head around all this pretentious bollocks.
Now let's figure this nonsense out. The feds. Yep.
Makes for a nice break from the Alan Wake sections, where he continues wandering uselessly around his personal nightmare realm while being so up himself he's considering the real estate potential of his lower duodenum. Also,
I mean, he is supposed to be a writer. Being completely up with yourself is pretty much a requirement, actually. You don't meet many writers who aren't. Those who do are really impressive or really good at hiding it.
The unique features of of Saga's story include a detective adventure game element where we apply the known facts to the appropriate bits of red...
Wait. Her name's actually Saga? I thought that was a joke. They named a character in a fictitious story with a plot point about things being fiction or real and not being able to tell. Saga. I'm not saying that's on the nose. I'm saying the pretension going all the way up to the point where it's gone up to the nose. It's through the nose at this point. It's gone through the entire tract, gone into a different one, explored the respiratory system, and come out one of the ends. I'm not even sure which end I'm referring to anymore. It's probably accurate. That has to be an intentional name choice. There was no way they were unaware of what they were doing.
String on our giant mental corkboard to unlock the next lead.
Culprit
Not that there's much actual deduction involved. It's fairly easily brute force by just throwing every fact at every thread until something clicks, which is...
I mean... That's not a bad option. It's not the best one, but even in real life, that's not a bad option.
Certainly easier than deducing which of the three threads that a fact could potentially...
Did the culprit possess a bum? What was the victim squashed to death with? What body part is most associated with sitting? Also, I have no idea why I said weird word there, but let's go with it. And for the one person out there who caught what I just did, yes, you're welcome.
Go on to was the one the developers were actually thinking of. Nevertheless, I found myself missing it during Alan's chapters because at least it obliged me to demonstrate some understanding of what the fuck was going on to proceed. Whereas, and let's be fair here, Alan's bits have clearly prioritized atmosphere over narrative coherence, and now let's be less fair, it's a bedraggled dude wandering around a load of old bollocks with a look on his face like he's expecting a worm from a giant mummy bird. Alan's game takes a more Silent Hilly approach where we systematically explore an abandoned hotel or dog grooming salon, looking for the locked doors and the keys to open the locked doors like a janitor on his first day whose supervisor isn't answering their phone, with the added twist of Alan's power to rewrite the story to alter certain rooms and open up new doorways. It gives a rather effectively creepy feel of being trapped in a...
Admittedly, that sounds like a really cool power.
Surreal introspective world with a sense of reality as reliable and permanent as a career in corporate tech journalism, but then one of the wibbly... world with a sense of reality as reliable and permanent as a career in corporate tech journalism, but then one of...
Yep! I was waiting for a reference, and yeah, right there. For anyone who doesn't actually know what's going on, The Escapist, I think the term is, fucked itself from the management down. Everyone quit. They made this channel without management. So, yeah. That was a thing, and that was completely accurate. Hey, remember how you had stable jobs? Nope. Now they have a stable YouTube channel. Hopefully it becomes stable, and maybe you should go subscribe again. Have I mentioned that already? Do it.
The wibbly-wobbly shadow dudes elbows you in the face, and you remember you're also trapped in a surreal introspective world with a shitty combat system. How do I hate thee? Let me count the ways. You have to stun enemies with your flashlight before you can even hurt them, so if you're out of flashlight battery, all you can do is mug to camera and tug on your collar.
You can rewrite reality, but you can't rewrite flashlights?
Alan's world are actually a threat. You waste flashlight on some of them, and they just disappear, going, sorry, I was just looking for the bog. Meanwhile, Saga's combat usually happens in the middle of thick wilderness and features a lot of enemies getting right up in her face, and the camera placement means the subsequent experience consists of staring at a few really close-up leaves while listening to sounds that may or may not represent Saga getting the absolute jurisdiction beaten out of her.
Oh my god. It's literally the problem I had with Final Fantasy 15. Fun game. A lot of looking at bushes that were not supposed to be there.
There's a dodge move, but it more resembles the character being briefly seized by the urge to breakdance and flips a coin on whether or not it actually bloody dodges anything. Still, combat being shitty and generally to be avoided is often the point in a horror game. You're not supposed to be like Chuck
if you're good at it, doesn't help.
Norris, roundhouse kicking the little girl from the ring back down the well, but still,
because if there's no actual threat, then it's not actually scary, and if you're able to just one-shot everything, you're not scared about the enemies. Yeah, I guess having a shitty one makes sense. On the other hand, probably wasn't intentional that way.
Scary shitty combat and there's annoying shitty combat. It's the difference between Michael Myers chasing you through the dark spooky house and Michael Myers preventing you from pulling out of the dark spooky house because he parked his car across the driveway. I've got other gripes.
Oh, that last one's more
storytelling
annoying.
is still mired in that remedy habit of going, we're playing things out in exactly the manner we want, and if you've got ideas of your own for where to stand during this unskippable conversation, then you can jolly well put them up yourself, Sonny Jim. And the ending sucks. I won't spoil anything, but if you're wondering why Alan Wake American Nightmare is no longer canon, it's because it had a satisfying ending that tied up all the loose ends.
Really? And they lived... Oh, and then they kissed and lived happily ever after. American Nightmare. I think I should check this out now.
That might have kept the DLC and sequel trainer rolling indefinitely, and you can be fucking well certain Alan Wake 2 is determined not to repeat that mistake. But at the end of the day, Alan Wake 2 has an undeniable energy and a vision that it is clearly unwilling to compromise, and that alone makes it worth checking out. There are certainly moments that may provoke an eye roll or two, but there's nothing inherently wrong with being up yourself. It's just another word for auteur, isn't it? And it's a good way to check for prostate cancer.
Hey, what's this lump? What's that say? Hey, what's this lumpy thing? Oh my god, he's not... It's... They even put a beret on it. He's not wrong. Not wrong in the slightest. That is an author thing.
Prostate cancer. But, you know, talking about prostate cancer makes me think about how ephemeral life is and how transitory the things we take for granted can be. Look at me. 2 weeks ago, I was making a series called Zero Punctuation for a site called The Escapist. Oh, that's all changed now.
You know, I was fully expecting this to be the one moment early on where they just said something about a permanent job and that's where it stuck. No, he's actually addressing it. Unironically, this is actually something I'm kind of fascinated about, just to get his opinion.
We've moved on to Second Wind, where we can be 100% creator-owned and independently funded.
Good.
There's all kinds of cuntery we can get away with now.
Is that a baby arm?
There's one benefit to corporate ownership, and that's that you always knew...
That is a... No, it's a baby doll foot that he's smoking. Yeah, they're definitely getting away with things they never would have tried before. Oh my god. Very Toy Story 1 of you.
Where your paycheck was coming from, and so if you enjoy our content and believe in what we're trying to build here, all I ask is that you consider donating as little as $1 a month to our Patreon, linked below. There's all kinds of crazy perks and behind-the-scenes access you could be enjoying, and if you can't spare a thing, that's fine. Even a like and a subscribe could go a long way. Or perhaps sending the video link to some of your millionaire friends. Thanks for listening, and an extra special thanks to everyone who's already done their bit to support us. The response since it all went down really has been extremely humbling. Don't worry, I'm not going to have an impassioned talk like this every week. I think...
No, do it. It's fun. I like the sudden change from just the character to the person, and it's a really cool, just sudden whiplash. It does actually feel way more impactful because of that. And, I mean, maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but I wouldn't mind if he just had the video breaking up, well, I can't speak today, broken up as the first half, which is the review, getting in, going fast, beating your face in with the witty one-liners and the very quick talk, and then having the second half, or even the second bit, that's just, hey, and here's what we're going to talk about. I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. If he actually did it flat out, I would be fine with that.
Next time we'll go back to the smash cutting to the overly loud credits music right after the final gag. It's just because this is the first. Don't want anyone to think I'm getting sincere all of a sudden. And furthermore, bum, balls, wankety wank, labia, flatulent, gush.
My God. You said gush on YouTube. I have said it. I have sullied myself. Nice. I know this is not normally the kind of video I check out, but frankly, I've really loved Yahtzee's videos for years. Don't always agree, don't always care about it, but all the same, I always wanted to check them out. And I kind of got a little pissed when I heard what happened. So the fact that they're still doing this, they have their own creative control right now, and corporate's just gone fuck off, or specifically they told them to do that. Yes! Support these guys, everyone. If you haven't already, again, there's a link below to the original video. If you haven't subscribed, do that. If you haven't liked the video, do that. And if you haven't gone and left a comment saying, hey, this is awesome, keep it up because algorithm, and also because I like this content, and if I leave a comment, people will be recommended it through the YouTube algorithm again, do that, because Second Wind, they're doing something I really like. Making it yourself because you can. And it's not a little silly way to support them, just trying to drag a few eyes to it. Hope you did. And if you've already seen it, do it again. I'll do it because I want to show this to my wife because she enjoys it too, and I get the excuse to show her something funny. And yeah, it's making up for her showing me the train video I saw a few days ago. And frankly, that was really awesome. I'm glad she told me about it. Otherwise, if you haven't already, guys, there's a link below to the original video. Hit it up. I really just want to see more of these. And the reason I never really reacted to them before is because I could never stop myself from watching them as soon as they came out. It was a problem. I meant to. I never did. Yeah. This time I actually had self-restraint for the 5 minutes I was aware of it and managed to not watch it on the way up to just actually out of the car. Yeah, it's a bad habit. I'm probably going to break it. But at least for this time, we made it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And if another video like this comes out, let me know because I just want to check out whatever they're doing because I like the style. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.